மாணவர்களின் சிந்தனைகளை வடிவமைக்க SNS Institutions, கோவை.
வலினா வாங்க சரி பண்ணிட்டு போங்க. ஆயுஷார்த்தோ நம்ம தாம்பரத்தில்.
மழை காரணமாக வருகின்ற மே 15 மற்றும் 22ஆம் தேதி நடக்க இருந்த Behindwoods கோல்ட் மெடல் 8th எடிஷன் கொஞ்சம் போஸ்ட்போன் ஆகி 21 மற்றும் 22ஆம் தேதி நடக்க இருக்கு. ஸோ ஏற்கனவே டிக்கெட்ஸ் புக் பண்ணவங்களா நீங்க எந்த ஒரு பயமும் தயக்கமும் வேண்டாம். அதே டிக்கெட்ஸை 21 மற்றும் 22ஆம் தேதிக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இது வரைக்கும் டிக்கெட் புக் பண்ணாதவங்க இப்பவே டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்ல இருக்க லிங்கை யூஸ் பண்ணி டிக்கெட்ஸை புக் பண்ணுங்க. ஹலோ சார், வணக்கம்.
வணக்கம்.
So how are you sir? Very happy to have you on Behindwoods.
Well, I'm fine and glad to be on Behindwoods.
Thank you sir. சார், கிட்டத்தட்ட 40 வருஷத்துக்கு மேலே தமிழ், ஹிந்தி, தெலுங்குன்னு நிறைய படங்கள் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க. ஸோ வாட் டிரைவ்ஸ் யூ சார்? நீங்கள் எப்போவாச்சும் டவுனாக ஃபீல் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்களா, இல்லை அதுலேருந்து எப்படி திரும்ப பவுன்ஸ் பேக் ஆகுவீங்க?
It's been more than 40 years. Actually, 40 years since I made Andhel Natkal.
Yes, 40 plus years this is actually.
I started my career when I was 22 years old. I started as an assistant editor, then assistant director to Shakti Samanta. Then I became independent producer in 78-79. I started looking for subjects. So it was in 79 when I was in Chennai when I saw this Telugu film Manori Pandavu, which was my first independent film as a producer. It was in Hindi, it was called Hum Panch. And then since then the journey has been very good. And whenever I came to Chennai, I used to stay at the President Hotel. Okay. And bang opposite President was my director's house, Director Bapu. Okay. I used to take his car and drive around in the daytime. Whenever he was resting, I used to
So what's your favorite place in Chennai, sir? May I know?
My favorite place, of course, now it is my home, this house of mine. Before that, I have stayed a lot we've stayed a lot at Taj Coromandel. Okay. And my favorite restaurant in Chennai is Southern Spice. In fact, there were times when we used to fly down to Chennai only to have dinner at Southern Spice. My favorite theatre in Chennai, in fact, amongst all the theatres in India, is PVR Satyam, the big screen.
Okay. சார், இப்போது சமீப காலத்தில் உங்களுக்கு ஆஸ் எ ப்ரொடியூசராக இங்கே கிடைக்கிற எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன் வந்து இட்ஸ் லைக் ரியலி சரியல். அதுக்கு ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய எக்ஸாம்பிள் ரோஹிணி தேட்டருக்கு நீங்கள் போனோடனே உங்களுக்கு கிடைச்ச அந்த வரவேற்பு. ஸோ நீங்கள் என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க, எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க இந்த வரவேற்பை?
Well, I said I'm blessed that the Tamil audience has accepted me. And here, as I said, the goodwill of my wife and the support of the actors, the support of Ajith. I mean, the way he... we've got along very well. The bonding between me and Ajith, all that has been, and then again bonding with Udaynidhi Stalin, bonding with RJ Balaji. All these are, they are all positive steps where the relations of actors from here, technicians from here, are getting stronger with me, and I feel comfortable. They are making me comfortable. So I would say, it is my good fortune that I'm working with such people and people who have accepted and invited me with open arms. Okay. Starting with Ajith.
சார், ஒரு படத்தோட கிராண்ட்னஸாக நீங்கள் என்ன பார்க்குறீங்க? லைக் எந்த அளவுக்கு மணி இன்வால்வ் ஆகிருக்கு, எவ்வளோ கிராண்டாக அந்த படத்தை எடுத்திருக்கோம், இந்த விஷயமா இல்லைனா அந்த ஸ்டோரி எந்த அளவுக்கு இன்டென்ஸாக இருக்குது? ஸோ நீங்கள் எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க? ஹவு டு யூ செலக்ட் யுவர் சப்ஜெக்ட் சார்?
I've had lows. I've been through a lot of financial crisis. And I was able to come out of it only because there was honesty, there was sincerity, and I could understand where my faults were. I analyzed my faults and tried to rectify, and I was indulgent first. So I try to be less indulgent now. The passion is the same. See, sometimes because of passion I got overindulgent. I overspent. I overdid. If a song required 20 dancers, I saw to it that I gave 100 dancers. Okay. So similarly, if I wanted to make films which are larger than life, but in doing that sometimes you overspend. That's what is called indulgence, and you overdo things. So now I've corrected myself in a way, and at the same time I've become a little more practical in putting things together. And so far things have been good. The journey has been good. Whether it's my Tamil films or it's my Telugu film, I intend to do a Malayalam film too. I intend to do a Kannada film too. I mean, filmmaking is my passion. That's the only job I know. And I'm doing Hindi films too. I've got 2 Hindi films on floor. I've got 3 Tamil films and 2 Hindi films on floor.
வெரி ரீசெண்ட் டைமாக ஹீரோஸோட சம்பளத்தை பற்றி இங்கே ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய டிபேட்டே போயிட்டுருக்கு. லைக் இஸ் இட் கரெக்ட் ஒரு 100+ crores ஒரு படத்துக்காக ஹீரோஸ் வாங்குறது சரியா? அதுக்கு பதிலாக அவங்க வந்து கதையில் கான்சன்ட்ரேட் பண்ணலாம், மோர் தென் த ஹீரோவோட சேலரிக்கு பதிலாக கதையில் இருக்க அந்த பிரம்மாண்டத்தை கூட்டலாமேன்ற மாதிரி ஒரு விஷயம் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஸோ வாட் இஸ் யோர் டேக் ஆன் திஸ் சார்?
You should be asking this to the actors, not to me. As a producer, I will do what suits me. Okay. And what suits me, I cannot tell you, it cannot be generalized. Okay. It is film to film. So, what you've asked me definitely should be asked to the actors. And the only answer I can give to this is, to each his own. If it suits me, I'll go ahead. If it doesn't suit me, the price structure, I'll stay out of it.
சார், சில நேரங்களில் படம் மேலே இருக்க அந்த பெரிய எதிர்பார்ப்பே படத்துக்கு வந்து பாசிட்டிவாகவும் அமையலாம், நெகட்டிவாகவும் அமையலாம். அப்போ படம் முடிஞ்சு வெளியே வந்துட்ட பிறகு சிம்பிளாக சொல்லி முடிச்சிருவாங்க, இவ்வளோ நாள் வெயிட் பண்ண அதுக்கான ஒர்த்தான்னு கேட்டுருவாங்க. ஸோ வாட்ஸ் மிஸ்டர் போனி கபூர்ஸ் டேக் ஆன் திஸ்? ஒரு படத்தோட அந்த பெரிய எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன், அந்த கிரேஸ் வந்து சில நேரங்கள் இப்படி முடியுது, நீங்கள் எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க இது?
That is something which is not in my hands. It's not in the hands of the producer. The expectations somehow are built up by the fans of the actor, by when there's not much written about it, people want to know more about it, especially if it's their favorite actor doing the film, like in the case of Valimai. So anywhere and everywhere you went, everybody wanted an update on Valimai update, right from the cricket matches happening in India, the World Cup happening in England, the campaign of the elections in 2000, the state elections and the national elections. So everywhere it was Valimai, and plus I think in some cities they put up posters looking out for me, okay, where is find Boney Kapoor, because they need Valimai update. So I feel I'm blessed to have this kind of my film to have this kind of a curiosity where the audience wants an update on films. So it's a good feeling.
Okay, so what is Mr. Boney Kapoor's interview without an update? So can we have any special update on AK-61?
Well, the special update is we've shot for it for almost 35-36 days, and we hope to complete the film by July, August.
Okay, so it's planning for a Diwali release.
Let's hope, fingers crossed.
Okay.
I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
Sir, in case of இந்த ரீமேக் படங்கள் பண்ணும்போது ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்காக நேர்கொண்ட பறவை எடுக்கலாமே. ஸோ பிங்க் இங்கே தமிழில் பண்ணும்போது நிறைய சேஞ்சஸ் ஏற்படுது. ஸோ இப்போ நெஞ்சுக்கு நீதிக்காக என்னென்ன சேஞ்சஸ் ஏற்படுத்திருக்கீங்க? ஸோ அட் வாட் டைம் நீங்கள் டிசைட் பண்ணுவீங்க இந்த படம் வந்து தமிழில் எடுத்தால் இட் வில் ஒர்க் அவுட் ஃபார் தமிழ் ஆடியன்ஸ்? அட் வாட் பாயிண்ட் யூ வில் டிசைட் சார்? அந்த கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் எப்படி வரும்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாமா?
We have got to think of all. Everything has got to be put together. Okay. And it has got to make a creative sense. By creative sense, I mean I should be sure that if I like something, the audience would also like. Okay. If I don't like it, how will the audience like? And 7 out of 10 times I have been pretty successful where that is concerned. And whether it's from Hindi to Tamil, like for instance, I made Nerkonda Parvai, which is a remake of Pink. Yes. Again, I have done Article 15, but you will see a vast difference between the Hindi version and that. It's been totally localized. Okay. All the situations, the screenplay.
So at what point you will get that confidence, sir? Okay, we'll remake this movie to Tamil. It will even work out in Kollywood. At what point you will get that confidence, may know?
Well, if it connects with me, it will connect with everybody. It is just a matter of changing the language. Well, there were some changes. There was one action sequence in Nerkonda Parvai. When it was made in Telugu, it had more than one. It had 4 or 5 action scenes. That suited, you've got to keep the actor also in mind, what his image is. There, Pawan Kalyan has a certain image. Here, Ajith has a certain image. In fact, my reason for my comfort in Tamil, coming into Tamil industry or doing Tamil films is thanks to Ajith. Actually, the entire thing is first of all, you see, it is the goodwill of my wife which has opened the doors for me, and that's how I am easily connected and easily connectable. Yes. Because I have that goodwill. So it's thanks to my wife, then thanks to Ajith, thanks to Almighty, thanks to my parents, and thanks to the people who have worked with me, who have been more than cooperative and more than good to me. And the journey has been enjoyable. I feel as comfortable working in Chennai as I feel in Bombay, in Mumbai. I feel the same way. I have the comfort in Hyderabad too. I have I've shot Hampanch, my first film in Karnataka, in Melkote. So these things, I have shot a lot of my films in UP. And one was the remake of a Tamil film. Gilly was remade as Tevarin, and we shot in UP. So this is something which I have been doing. I mean, as I told you, 6 or 7 times out of 10 I have been successful, and sometimes I have got to face failures too.
So how do you take your failures, sir?
Well, I take it on my chin. I've got to be prepared when I'm ready to accept success. I should be ready to accept failures too.
சார் எண்ட் ஆஃப் த டே இட் இன்வால்வ்ஸ் மணி. ஸோ ஒரு ப்ரொடியூசராக ஒரு படம் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு முன்னாடி மிஸ்டர் போனி கபூரோட கால்குலேஷன்ஸ் என்னென்னவா இருக்கும்?
See, more than the calculation, I feel my professional journey began in Tamil, in Chennai, and it has always been fruitful. So business, of course, is important, but more than that, it is the emotion which is important. I feel like I belong to Mumbai and I belong to Chennai. Both are my karma bhumis, and both have given me all what I have got so far. Chennai has a special place in my heart because, as I told you, I started my career seeing films out here and buying the remake rights and all that. And then, of course, I mean, as I told you, I'm the Mapalai of Tamil Nadu. And the business calculation is, you see, when you do a remake, you know that you cannot go totally wrong. How right you will go depends on the kind of film you made of the remake rights that you bought.
Yes.
And that is one big reason for me to do remakes.
Okay.
Because I know what is the beginning of the film, I know what is the middle of the film, I know what is the end of the film. I can easily change the nativities, I can change the flow of the screenplay to suit all India audience taste. Sometimes I've succeeded, sometimes I've not succeeded. But the thing is, when I've done some films which I have not been remakes, I have shot for 300 days, 400 days. But when I do a remake, I know the number of days are limited. So there is a lot of saving there. And at the same time, there is a lot more confidence because I know the film has done well in a particular language.
Yes.
And you see, cinema has a common language, whether it is Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi. People want to be involved in the cinema, in the film that they are seeing. So if they are involved in a Tamil film, the same subject when it is done in Hindi, they will be involved. That is the reason, see, there are so many South Indian films which are being dubbed in Hindi and released on satellite channels.
Yes.
So that was my first indication that today, and the prices have gone up like really shot up.
Okay.
Which means the audience is more ready to accept the South cinema more than what they used to.
Okay.
So there is an acceptance. There is this element of South Indian films they cater to every aspect. They cater to the palate of the audience. They will not just be one track film or a one layer film. When I started my career also, I had analyzed all these stalwarts from South. From earlier, even the Telugu films were made in Chennai, and somebody like L.V. Prasad, AVM, Gemini, Basu Menon, Ramanaidu, so on and so forth. I mean, they have made empires out here. They have their studios, they have all kind of filmmaking set up out here. And how have they done it? They used to buy Malayalam films, do it in Tamil. From Tamil they used to do in Telugu. From Telugu they used to do in Hindi. So why can't I do it? That's how I tuned my mind. And out of the 50 odd films I've done, almost 22 have been remakes, either from Hindi to Tamil or Telugu, or from Tamil or Telugu to Hindi.
சார், இப்போ நிறைய லாங்குவேஜில் நினைக்கிற ஆக்டர்ஸ் கிட்ட கேட்கும் போது எந்த லாங்குவேஜ் உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப ஸ்பெஷல் அண்ட் கம்ஃபர்ட்னு கேட்கும்போது எல்லா லாங்குவேஜ்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ ப்ரொடியூசர்ஸ்க்கும் அதே கேஸ் தானா? ஏன்னா இப்போ மலையாளம் படம்னா அது ஆர்ட் ஃபிலிம் மாதிரி இருக்கும், பாலிவுட் படம்னா அது ரொம்ப கமர்ஷியலாக எதிர்பார்ப்பாங்கன்ற மாதிரி பிரித்து வச்சிருக்காங்க. ஸோ வாட்ஸ் யுவர் டேக் ஆன் திஸ், சார்?
For me, language is no barrier.
Okay.
I remember as a youngster, me and Anil, we both used to go for festivals in Delhi before the festival shifted to Goa, and we used to watch films in different languages, and we could get involved. So language is no barrier. Earlier, if you remember, there was silent cinema, and yet people used to connect with the films.
Okay.
So which means dialogues are one aspect. They may add to the substance, but the substance which has been shot, which is on screen, that itself should keep you involved. And that is the reason main reason for a film to be successful. Why do you think Magadhira did so well? Why do you think RRR or Bahubali or KGF or Pushpa? Because it's got grand visuals and with all the Indian emotions and the commercial elements which the Indian palate easily digests or easily enjoys or easily understands.
சார் ஐ திங்க் எல்லா ப்ரொடியூசர்ஸ்க்கும் இது நடந்திருக்கும். சில படங்கள் வந்து ரொம்ப ஆசைப்பட்டு எடுத்திருப்போம், நிறைய மணி இன்வால்வ் ஆகிருக்கும். பட் அந்த படங்கள் வந்து எதிர்பார்த்த வெற்றி பெறாத போது ஸோ ஹவு டு யூ டேக் தட் அண்ட் ஹவு யூ பவுன்ஸ் பேக் ஃப்ரம் தட் சொல்ல முடியுமா?
By planning the next picture in a better way and getting a better subject and understanding why the particular film failed, so that I don't repeat the mistake again. So these are some things which, and these are all instinct, you know, it's straight from the heart. What you feel and you realize, you can analyze your stuff better, more than and before the others can, if you're honest to your profession. There have been instances when I made this picture Kyun Ho Gaya Na, my director wanted to send the film to Cannes Film Festival, and he had not shown me the film, and I was doing various films. So when he showed me the film, I said, why you want to take this to Cannes? It is not good. It was my own film, and I told director it's not good. So there have been instances when before the release I have realized my film.
So you will be the first critic for your movie, right?
Yes, I am the critic, and at the same time I have got to keep a proper balance, being a non-biased critic. I should not think that this is my film, I should like everything, and at the same time I should not be so biased that I am just looking at the faults.
It should be a constructive criticism.
Constructive and rational view to keep in mind when you watch your own films.
So நெஞ்சுக்கு நீதி ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க. இந்த படம் எவ்வளோ ஸ்பெஷல் உங்களுக்கு, and what is the main reason to produce நெஞ்சுக்கு நீதி?
Very, very, very special. When I had seen the film earlier, I liked it immensely. I mean, it was again my good luck that Udaynidhi liked it and he came on board and we got along well. And of course the director who had done Kana had seen the film, I had liked the film. I think we choose the right actors and the right technicians. Udaynidhi suits the role like he is absolutely fantastic in the film, suits the part. Then the other actors also, if you see the film, the entire happening looks very natural. There is nothing forced in the film to get a commercial element pushed into the film. So everything flows normally, naturally, and you would feel what is happening on screen is something which you're seeing it. You're seeing it happen normally, naturally. It is not a drama created for screen. It is something which you've been reading about. It is something which is there. You're just creating awareness. So this film definitely will create awareness. It has got a social message. It has got a very strong social message. And what better than the kind of setup I have with Udaynidhi, leading the star cast and doing, a swell job where the role is concerned. He's carried the film on his shoulder and he's not overplayed, he's not underplayed, he's been just normal. So which is very good, and that's how the film looks so good.
Fantastic and all right, sir. Thank you so much for your time. So இப்போ நீங்கள் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்க படமும் இதுக்கப்புறம் உங்களுடைய ப்ரொடக்ஷனில் வர எல்லா படங்களும் வெற்றி அடைய Behindwoods நேயர்கள் சார்பாக வாழ்த்துக்கள், நன்றிகள். தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்யூ.
ஓகே.
May 15th and 22nd நடக்கிறதா இருந்த Behindwoods Gold Medals 8th edition வந்து கொஞ்சம் போஸ்ட்போண்ட் ஆகி May 21st and 22nd நடக்க போது. இப்போ பெஞ்ச மழையினால கொஞ்சம் டிலே ஏற்பட்டிருக்கே தவிர மற்றபடி வேறு எதுவுமே இல்லை. ஸோ May 15th டிக்கெட் புக் பண்ணவங்க பயப்பட வேணாம். நான் அப்பாலஜிஸ் ஆல்சோ. நீங்கள் May 21st உங்கள் பிளான்ஸை கொஞ்சம் மாற்றிக்கோங்க. அண்ட் டிக்கெட்ஸே புக் பண்ணாதவங்க உடனே கீழே லிங்கை கிளிக் பண்ணி போய் உங்கள் டிக்கெட்ஸை புக் பண்ணுங்க.
மாணவர்களின் சிந்தனைகளை வடிவமைக்க SNS Institutions கோவை.
வலினா வாங்க சரி பண்ணிட்டு போங்க. ஆயுஷ் ஆர்த்தோ நம்ம தாம்பரத்தில்.